So we're going to go ahead and draw this baseball bat. If we look at this, we're going to kind of draw this profile first, and then we'll smooth out some of the edges over here and over here as our very last steps. So let's get started. We're going to start kind of right here and draw this sort of portion. We're actually going to draw half of the profile. We're going to kind of draw this top half, and then we'll rotate it around and a revolve to create the solid. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to make this little portion right in here first. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of like split this down the middle here so we have something to work off of. We're going to kind of try to make this top portion that's in here all the way over to here. And we're going to use Revolve. So we need to make a sketch. And I think what we want to try to do first is sort of draw this portion, this 10-inch portion of the bat. So we'll come over to, over to Onshape. Go ahead and start a sketch on the front view. And at the origin, we can go ahead and let's just go ahead and make a rectangle. And we want that rectangle to be a certain length. We want it to be 10 long and then half of this diameter. So 10 long and half of 0.87. So let's start with the half of 0.87. So we'll do 0.87 over 2. Okay, and then we're going to come over here. Try that one more time. We could just go ahead and dimension it right here. 0.87 over 2, and then this one is going to be 10 inches long. All right. Okay, so this next little portion we're going to do is the actual like bat handle. And so we have up to here drawn. I'm going to kind of look at this close up. We have up to here drawn. What we need to do is we need to draw kind of like a rectangle. Let's go ahead and draw straight lines here. A rectangle that looks like this. Here, 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 and here, and then we'll round off the edges with a fillet. All right, the width of that rectangle is shown right here, 0.625. All right, and then the length of it, or the height of it, I guess, we've already, well, we can actually do this. It's half of 1.75. So let's go ahead and draw the rectangle over here. We're gonna have to zoom in. Start here. We'll just guess as to how big it is, and then we'll put in some dimensions. So the height of this, we're going to draw half of it, right? So we need half of 1.75. 1.75 divided by 2. And then the width of it, I believe, was 0.625. Let's double check. 0.625. Yep, that's right. Okay. All right, so now let's put some fillets in. We got to round these edges off. So we'll select 2 corners, and then we have a fillet of 0.25 in here. Let's see if that's right. Yep, 0.25 is what we needed, right? So we'll go ahead and fillet that side, and then we'll fillet the other side as well, right there. Perfect. Okay, so now we can start to kind of clean this up a little bit. We don't need this line right here. Oops. Go ahead, where's my trim tool? Okay, so we'll trim that line right there. It looks like it's still there, but that's just kind of like, it's the axis right there. So make sure that there's no lines there. I had to do it twice because I actually drew that line twice. I drew 2 rectangles. So I had to click that trim tool 2 times. And now we can kind of start focusing on the other end of the bat, the part that kind of flares out over here. So we need to figure out what this dimension is right here, because that dimension right there is going to be how long our next line is going to have to be, because we have to draw this bottom line down here to get to this point. All right, so to figure that out, I think we need to do a little bit of math. We'll go ahead and let Onshape do the math, but what we have to do is we have to get this value, this total value, subtract 10 and subtract 6.25 in order to get us our overall length, which is this length right here. All right, so we're going to do a little subtraction. So we'll take 29.625 minus 10 minus 6.625. Over here, let's just go ahead and kind of draw the line in down here at the bottom. We'll kind of guess as to how long it is. And then in the dimension, we got to do the total length, which is 29.625, minus 10, which is this over here, this 10 over here, minus 6.25, which is this length right here, or 0.625, okay? what we end up getting is a line that is 19 inches long. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and we'll move this down a little bit so it's a little easier to read. Let's go back to the drawing. We need the height, this height right here, to be half of the dimension that's on the side, which is 2.5. It's hard to see here, but it's 2.5. There we go. So half of 2.5. So we need to go up. So 2.5 over 2 is 1.25. That's perfect. And then we just have to finish by coming all the way back to the end here. All right. Now we have a full profile, a full loop, I should say. So it changed to this gray color, but let's clean this up here. We'll clean this little line up here by using the trim tool. And I think we're ready to actually revolve this guy. So we'll finish the sketch, and now we'll use the revolve tool. All right, so we'll select revolve up here in the corner in our 3D creation tools. We'll select the gray profile as our face of the sketch. And now it's turned to this green color. The whole thing is green. We need to pick an axis that we want to revolve around. So we'll pick the bottom of the bat. Either of these two lines will work. And we have something that looks kind of like a bat. It is a little bit weird because it's got this like sharp end here. And this is a very kind of like a straight to straight transition. We need to round this portion off right here. And we need to round the end of the bat off. So we're going to use the fillet tool for that. So we'll go up to fillet. Let's start with the end of the bat over here. We'll click on the fillet tools and see it rounds it a little bit, but we might want to round it a little bit more. We got to look at our dimensions. And it says add a 1/2 inch radius fillet after you revolve at the end of the bat. So instead of 0.2, we're going to do 1/2 inch, and it rounds it a little bit more, and that looks good. Same thing with this side of the bat over here. We're going to round off this little transition point. And right now it's a 0.2 radius fillet. It rounds it very slightly. But a bat has very gradual transition from the straight to the curved. So that we're going to actually add a 16-inch radius fillet. So it'll be a very gradual turn from one straight edge of the bat to the other. So we're going to go over here and select 16 inches as our radius. And there we go. I think the bat is completed. Go ahead and give us an ISO view on it. There is the baseball bat.